All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. Welcome to another video where I discuss philosophy, religious ideology, logical perspectives, symbolism, language. You know the deal. And if you don't, you do now. So in this video, we're going to be revisiting some symbolism and some scriptures that I found to be rather interesting in correlation. Of course, we've been discussing the Bhagavad Gita and, of course, how it ties in with Buddhism, Christian ideology, Freemasonry, Kaballah, all that, right? But I wanted to talk about Matthew 6:22 through 23 / Luke 11:34, I believe, through 35, out of the King James Version, right? Some three-pillar symbolism as seen in Freemasonry and Kaballah, which ought to be studied together. And so without further ado, let's get started. Matthew 6:22 through 23, the light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. But if thine eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. Okay, so just to talk about the language of that real quick, and we've discussed this before. The light of the body is the eye. Therefore, if thine eye be single, right, unified eye single, the one eye, thy whole body shall be full of light. This is unity consciousness. But if thine eye be evil, split, dual, right, warring, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. Is it any wonder that society on the global scale is full of disease the more that we drift down into ego of A versus B? Right? But if thine eye be evil, if all you ever see is differences in ideology, as discussed in a previous video, all you're ever going to get is darkness and differences and disease. But if you see the similarity of things, thy whole body shall be full of light, for thine eye is single. Now, of course, touching on some Freemasonic symbolism, we get the eye single, right? Single, dual, or light, darkness, right? Unity or duality. Eye single, the whole body is full of light. All three things, one, love, zero, unified. The whole body is full of light. But if thine eye be evil, as in dual eye, the light switch shut off, the whole body shall be full of darkness, and thus the source of disease. Now, touching on, of course, the Kabbalistic tree and, the tree of life, Yggdrasil, which I used to have up there all the time, erased it because it was getting kind of blotchy, is, of course, the spectrum of light. Up above the violet, you've got ultraviolet light, and below the red, you've got infrared, going downward into infinity and going upward into infinity, respectively. Funny, the word respect. And spectrum and spectacle all pertain to the eye. Right? So the eye single sees the spectrum and recognizes that ultimately all of these are still unified. It's just differing degree of vibration. We can talk about the Hermetic principle of vibration and rhythm. Everything vibrates and everything moves at specific rhythms, and where that's at, that wherever that frequency is, determines ultimately the quality of what that individual is seeing on the so-called TV screen. Now, tying in with the Bhagavad Gita, we've got chapter 2, verse 51. I couldn't write it up here because, to be quite frank, I don't have enough room and I'm not exactly as tech savvy as I would like to be. But that's a work in progress in and of itself. Chapter 2, verse 51 out of the Bhagavad Gita. The wise unify their consciousness and abandon attachment to the fruits of action which binds a person to continual rebirth. Thus they attain a state beyond all evil. Right? Unity, consciousness. Right? All three. If you take out the I, it's just the continual birth and death cycle. We've talked about that as far as the symbolism of the Kabbalistic tree. Right? Going around in circles rather than actually attaining wisdom, because these are the 31 paths of wisdom in Kaballah. Right? Each different path. The 31 paths, or I believe it might be 32. I can't remember exactly. 1, 2, that we'll count another time. But the paths of wisdom in Kaballah require also the eye as well as the sun and moon. Without the eye, you're just going around in circles. Death, rebirth, right? Without finding any sort of balance in between. However, with that eye, you find the completion, unified eye, the unified spectrum, and seeing beyond the duality, beyond the evil, beyond the darkness. You're seeing beyond the so-called divisions in that veil that seems to separate us. Now, normally I don't appeal to the other biblical scriptures that I have on my shelf. Actually, can't remember the exact scripture, but actually, I do remember this one. It's Matthew 5:8. But blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. This touches on that and ties into it as well. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Of course, that all-seeing eye, once again, the pure in heart, right? I single, right? For they shall see God. It's that all-seeing eye, right? God equals all. The all-seeing eye is the eye that sees God as a result of purity of heart, right? Or, of course, seeing beyond the divisions that seemingly separate man from man, even man from woman. And I find that to be fascinating, right? But it all kind of ties in with each other. Of course, the Kabbalistic tree of life is said to be seen within the eye, the middle pillar, right? Because ultimately, as mentioned through symbolism in previous videos, right, Yggdrasil has the sun up here and that darkness down here. Imagine if you were to turn this sideways. All this would be the paths of the heart, the paths of wisdom. But you got that Kabbalistic tree right through here. Ultimately, it's all tying together. The seers see beyond the divisions set up in order to kind of create conflict. You know, it's not to say that conflict is always a bad thing. Conflict can help bring clarity again, seeing beyond the conflict, right? So it's the conflict between man and gravity that leads to man becoming stronger and being able to walk at all. Otherwise, gravity becomes too strong and we succumb to the grave, or we succumb to gravity. With that being said, I hope you guys are seeing what I'm seeing, and seeing beyond just base text and difference in language and verbiage used, and seeing beyond like differences in names, and actually getting down to the principles and spirit involved in the text. I mean, it's kind of mind-boggling, right? But ultimately, it all comes down to, is it in alignment with nature, right? Is what the text is teaching, is the message aligning with the laws of nature? According to Matthew, it is. According to Freemasonry, it is. According to Kaballah, it is. According to the Bhagavad Gita, it is. Right? These things are all correlating together. Now, make of it what you will, have whatever opinion you want. Those who have the eye single and see the unity of it all recognize the truth in it. But those who have an eye of evil, of course, will be full of darkness and will only see the differences, because that's all they're focused on. Now, I hope everyone liked this video. The studies have been kind of it's been a work in progress for many years, and of course being able to piece it together and demonstrate it to you guys, even if you don't see it, that too has been a work in progress. Of course, life happens and I get caught up in things and doing my own thing and trying to help other people directly in my community, and sometimes I just get downright selfish, to be completely honest. I wouldn't even call myself good, let alone, quote, perfect. I am a faulty individual at times, but hey, that's it's kind of the unity of things, is recognizing that I do have faults that need to be worked on, and transmutation of that spiritual darkness into spiritual light, but hey, hope you guys like this one. Hope you got something out of it. If you did, go ahead, share it if you want. If not, if you didn't get anything, keep coming back. If you did and just don't feel like sharing it, no hard feelings. Anyways, later.